start with the opening statement from Coach and then take questions first from athletes.
Yeah, obviously happy with the result. Good day, great day. Obviously the throwback uniforms, the alumni. It's fun to kind of pay homage to those guys, hear some of their stories. We kind of wanted to own the present too, though. That was kind of the message before the game. These guys just to kind of stay dialed in. And this was the next one on the schedule and kind of win the day, win the game, obviously. As far as the game was concerned, I didn't like the first 5, didn't like the last 5, hated our defense in the third quarter. Outside of that, I guess I was somewhat pleased. For the most part, it was we got going. We did what we did at times. We got better at what we do. I just want them to lock in a little bit more defensively. And, obviously the turnovers are great, but teams are shooting it at a high percentage a little too often against us, and it doesn't have to be feast or famine. It doesn't need to be that. We can do both. We know we can do that. So just kind of trying to lock in a little bit. But we made shots again, so that was good for us. I think offense got a little bit better, and it's nice to see us make 10 threes. These guys got going a little bit. And we played through the paint a little bit at times too. And, Arizona's different in the way they guard ball screens and some different stuff. So we got to kind of practice that and then work on that in the game. So that was good for us. And so we'll get better because of it. But it's win 20 on the year. That's always a big goal in basketball, the 10th conference win as well. So some good stuff. Just got to continue to move forward.
Sid and Gia, what do you think about the throwbacks?
I love them. Yeah, I really like them.
I like them too. I actually love them because AI, Kyrie, all of them just give me that vibe, like that old school kind of guard look. So, I just like the little dotted. Tristan did his thing.
Maybe you can find an excuse to wear them again. I don't know.
Sydney, how much better are you guys when you're able to make threes?
I think it's almost night and day because I feel like we are very good in the paint. We dominate in the paint. So when we're able to spread the floor out and make them play honestly instead of packing the paint in because we're hitting shots, it makes it so much harder to guard.
Sydney, with kind of along those lines, that first half, was that, as far as shooting as a team, the best of the year, in your opinion?
Like, how'd it feel? Or
with the result, you guys had 9 threes in the first half.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I guess
9 for 14.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Felt great, tell you that.
After those initial 5 minutes or so, what changed for you guys in the first half?
I think we just saw what we were doing wrong and what we could do better and how we usually start on teams. So I just think that we locked in a little better on like certain things that we were missing, like our press and just back in our zone. So, I think we was just trying to lock back in and get like settle into the game a little bit better, offense and defense. So I just think the 5 minutes we just had to calm down and let the game just come to us.
Gia, how was their press break different? They were doing that pass along the baseline to I don't know, change the angle or something. Like how was that different?
We've seen it before, but they kind of started faking us out a little bit and stepping in, stepping out. So it was kind of like confusing at times. We had kind of a game plan to, stop the entry pass, but it just kept, going over the top sometimes. We kind of got it down a little bit, but it was just a different look. So,
I guess better to see something like that now than in March.
Yeah. Now we know how to play a little better.
Sydney, not your first time being around the alumni players, but what does that mean to you? And then Gia, this is really your first time being around a big group of them like that. So just your takeaways, what maybe anything you learned?
It was exciting seeing everybody come back. It was a lot of people, a lot of alumni, a lot of just women that was playing the game, and I just love seeing that, the support, the excitement for us. They just showed a lot of love, and that's what Morgantown felt like when I got here. So just them coming back and having this whole alumni type of game, it was just fun to have, and it was exciting.
Gee, as you guys come down to these stretch of games now, and obviously you guys are in a position. You guys are right there, Baylor, TCU, Western. As the number of remaining games get smaller, what do you guys have to do to stay up there, to stay in there, to stay in the race, I guess, so to speak?
keep challenge ourselves to work on things that we're kind of like struggling in still. Coach gets on us about just having a full game on offense and defense and just reaching our goals and hitting the marks that we want to keep people under, or, less turnovers and things like that. So, I mean, we just got to put a full game together coming down the line. Like, it just can't be one night we play really good offense and bad defense and then one good, we just have to have a full good game with the offense and defense, us in the press, us getting steals, us, just sharing the ball on offense, moving. We got to put it together. And I think we're, slowly working towards it, just more practice, more film, things like that. And I think we'll be ready.
I was kind of wondering, from your individual position, from, where you were last year and now being in the position you guys are in this year, just the difference feeling, I guess, that you probably have with that.
It's a big difference. I was at the bottom of the league last year, and now we top 3. So, I mean, it's definitely a great adjustment for me, and I'm excited to be here. And that's what Coach Kellogg told me when I got here. We're going to win. So, I mean, I'm glad to be a part of the team, and I'm glad that I chose the school to the standard that they have, because, I love it here. So the position's definitely different, but it's a great position to be in for sure.
I wonder if, kind of re-energizes you.
Oh, for sure.
Passion-wise for the game.
For sure, yeah. Just bring that dog out, really. I mean, it's different here now, so, we got more dogs on the floor with you, everybody just trying to win. So, I mean, it's that grit, that's that passion we got. So we just feed off each other, and I love that about my teammates.
Thank you.
Sydney, was the Jordan shot at the end of the first quarter, do you think that was the spark for you guys?
For sure. That was definitely a push in the back for everybody. I think it was a great shot and great timing. So it was good for everybody at that moment.
Thanks, Sid. Thanks, Gia.
Thank you.
You know, guys.
Thanks.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach.
So, Coach, it's not very often in your career that you guys have gone and lost more than 2 games in a row. You lose to Utah, then you've now come off and you've rattled 3 wins. What is it about this style of play and the philosophy that you guys build that wins?
I don't know if it's style of play necessarily. It's having really good players. It's an expectation. I've used it, just try to be a consistent guy, not get too high, too low. Winning and losing, and not get outcome based and process oriented. And so I think when you kind of keep it real like that, then you're able to kind of move past those. But we're going to get better whether we win or lose. We always tell them that. My tone might change a little bit after a loss, I guess. But other than that, I don't want to get and react too much to everything. But it's just, you have good players, you have good coaches, you have good staff, you have good people in your building. That's what culture is. That's what character is. And I think that's what allows you to kind of, I guess, thrive in those situations and not, let it go the other way, because it can. And in this league, it can go real quick the other way. And so just kind of trying to not let it ever snowball that direction.
Mark, not a lot of teams have hit that long outlet pass against you. Why did Arizona get it, a handful early on?
Because our transition defense wasn't very good. The same thing happened at Colorado, so obviously that's something we're going to have to adjust and look at. And I'm sure they took that from Colorado a little. And so, again, it didn't cost us a game by any stretch, but at one point or at halftime, I think almost half their points were basically from those situations. So, and that's what I'm talking about. We can be better than that. We can fix that pretty quickly, I think. And then, that's why percentages get high when you're given leak out layups and they threw the one out of bounds, that thing, that's embarrassing. And then not blocking out on the free throw. So we did some really silly stuff today that we've just can't let happen.
You have obviously emphasized that this year, even after made baskets, getting the ball up court quickly, getting into the offense. Is part of that with the increased post presence? Is part of it because you feel like you can create a little bit more by getting into early opportunity offense?
Well, maybe all of it. Some of it's just team speed, that we're better in the open floor at times. We have 3 pretty dynamic guards that we can typically put out there. Obviously some paint production too through the post play if we want to go that route. So it's just finding early space. We play at tempo on the defensive end. At times that tempo slows a little more than I would like on the offensive end. So just trying to keep them, at pace and at tempo because I think that's probably when we're at our best.
Mark, you get 20 minutes from Cece. Was it part of the plan to have her increase minutes today, or was it just because she was playing so well that she was hard to take off the floor?
Well, honestly, a little bit of both. The way they hard hedge those ball screens and jump you a little bit, and we don't see that all the time, but Cece's passing ability helps in that, and so I had told the staff, I think coming in, that may be opportunity for her to kind of thrive in that situation, and then she took advantage of it, to her credit. So it's very little about me and much more about her, but just trying to put her in a place to have success. And then, to her credit, she had a really good game. That plus minus of 31 that's pretty legit. I'm happy for her.
Mark, similar question that I think someone asked one of the players, just how much better is this offense when you guys are hitting threes like you were in the first half?
Yeah, it can be. Yes, I mean, obviously, when you can score at multiple levels, it makes the game much easier and opens up a little bit of space on the inside. And, Arizona at times seemed to be doubling or digging and trying to take, the post play away. So, yeah, and then it's just confidence to continue doing it, even though did we even made one in the second half. So, but we didn't have to at that point. So, yeah, I mean, it helps for sure. When you turn people over 29 and get 38 points off turnovers, though, that helps quite a bit too.
Could you kind of talk throughout the season how you wanted to see more three-pointers, try this again, more three-pointers go in, better shooting from three-point range? The fact that you get it tonight, is that a sense of just the work coming together, or is this something that might become a little bit more consistent?
Well, I hope it does. I don't know if we're in a trend. I don't know if we have a trend yet, but give me a couple more games, and then maybe we're trending. We could call that a trend. 4 to 6 games is kind of how we normally look at trends from our mindset anyway, not 1 or 2. That's, can be opponent-based a little bit too. But we needed to shoot better here. I think we talked about that once in here at one of the press conferences, that we hadn't shot it as well at home actually this year than we had on the road. So, to shoot 50% and 44 from 3 is great. And we'll be better offensively, of course, if we can make perimeter shots, without a doubt.
Mark, the first media timeout, what do you talk about? Because Arizona had started off so well, but from there it was kind of all you guys.
Yeah, honestly, I call them the E's, which I've probably used with you guys before. I didn't think we had any of those. So that's energy and effort, enthusiasm, emotion. I didn't think we played with any of that early. So we're a step slow in the press. We're a step slow defensively in some of the rotations. They were getting all their points in the paint, which is what the goal was, to take away the paint tonight. They don't shoot the 3 great and don't make very many. So that was what we were trying to do, and then we just allowed them to do what they do, and we didn't have much flow offensively either. And so it was to find those things, and then I thought once we found them, obviously the play kind of started to pick up. So that's really what it was. Yeah, and then we lost it again in the last 5 minutes and didn't play with any of that stuff either.
I'm sure you guys yesterday, doing game prep, all the normal things, but getting to spend some time with the alumni players here this weekend, what do you hope your current players get out of that, and how important is that for them to be able to spend some time with those girls?
Yeah, I think it's a connection. As much as it is for our current players, I think it's probably, I just want to make sure the alums feel a connection to their alma mater, that they feel comfortable coming back, whether they get to hang out with my current players or not. Like with all due respect to them, most of my players don't have a clue what the heck happened in 1982 or 85, or like that doesn't resonate probably, if I'm just being honest, as much. It doesn't mean they don't want to hear the stories, and we do, and I think it's great. But I want to make sure the alums who invested so much blood, sweat, tears here have, the feeling that they are welcome at any time, back in the facility. And it doesn't have to be this weekend. This is the one we designate this year, and we always have one, but they can certainly come back whenever they want, and they're welcomed here, and that's what I want them to feel. And they get to come together where they got 2 or 3 that they played with, or they can reminisce off different decades. They have stories to tell. They have fond memories of this place. If anything, that's what I want my players to take from it, is just the fondness that these alums have of this university. Some of them will be there really quickly. Quinterly was here a year ago, not as an alum, and now she's back in those shoes. So it goes by quick. Enjoy it while you have it. Kind of own the moment, but certainly understand what the alums have meant, and we wouldn't be here without them.
Mark, what makes CC such a good passer?
Yeah, I guess IQ, usually hands. You got to have great hands. You got to be able to see the floor. She had one really, really nice, that bounce pass in the first half. That's just great vision. But just, I think international basketball too helps some of the post players. They don't grow up with size necessarily having to play with your back to the basket in the paint. They get to play on the perimeter a little bit more. Over here in America, if you got size, we just tell you to go stand in the paint and play with your back to the basket, and they work on a little bit more of their versatility earlier, I think. And I think we're catching up to that, but for the most part, that's kind of the way it's been. But yeah, but I just think she's got that touch. She's got the feel, really good IQ.
Coach, you've obviously, as a program, have been in this kind of position late in the year where it's maybe 2 or 3, 4 teams, and you're one of them. The players can, obviously see where the standings are and stuff. It's not hard. But as you come down to this crunch time, What's like? Do you have like a set plan on keeping the players focused and not worried about standings and seedings and things like that, or does that motivate them if they know that stuff?
I think both. The answer is both. We're trying to get better. That's the goal. We just want to continue to get better. We want to practice better. I want to teach great habits. So when we play, it shines. You can't practice at a certain level and then expect the lights come on and you're going to play at a different level than the way you prepare and practice. So, I mean, that's priority A. We don't talk about that very much. We may address it a little bit, or like the beginning of every week. It's kind of a reset for us when we finish the week. So, okay, here's what we have this week. Here's what comes next. Here's what follows it. Don't talk about, every once in a while we have a standings board in our locker, in our, locker room, film room area. So they can see that. So they know what it looks like. So we bring it up a little bit. We talked, we have 6 games left, now 5, but it was 6, before this one. We got 4 at home, 2 on the road. Take care of business. We're going to be in a great spot. And there really wasn't much more said than that. If we don't take care of business, we're maybe playing behind the 8 ball for a conference title, but you're asking me about it, and it's February 7th, so I think that's a good thing that we're talking about it on February 7th, but there's no reason to standings watch or see who's playing who and who might drop game. Like, it's just, no, we got to get better and focus just really on us, and if we do that, I think we'll be there and have a chance when it's all said and done.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.